What episode are we on?
Episode 3.
4? Are we on 4 now?
Is it episode 4?
Episode 3 was with Duno.
Episode
This
3.
is 4.
Episode 3 was disclaimer.
Yeah,
this
and
is
I
4.
did title it that time too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, thank you so much for listening, guys. This is the Housecast, and this is episode 4. And
As we all found out.
we just found out. And this is the new setup, so I hope it sounds significantly better than it did before.
Yeah, we've got a lot better equipment set up this time.
Yeah, we spent some significant money and some significant time making sure that this sounded better. And when I say significant time, I mean, like, it was a fucking bitch and a half.
We made it
Seriously.
4. That's why.
Oh, are you talking about the setup?
No, like,
The setup of the
this
microphones.
this
themselves.
wasn't so bad. I got the mics this, like, earlier today at, like, 3. And from, like, 3 till, like, 8, I was just fucking with the mics trying to get them to work properly. It took us forever. And then we finally had it almost working, and then I moved everything downstairs,
And it
fucked it up. And we had to start over. So I, like, did everything again, and it still wasn't working. I was like, fuck. I fucked something up. And then we realized what the problem was.
And I was at work just shooting people with Nerf guns.
Yeah. We just figured out that my speakers were plugged into the headphone jack of the sound card that was supposed to be receiving the input from the microphones, and that was causing the issue. So we fixed that, and now we're good. So anyway, episode 4, it's been a month since we started doing this. It's pretty crazy.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Happy month anniversary.
Oh man, we're high school.
We are very happy.
Celebrating our 1 month.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
I was salted.
Speaking of months, how you doing on Ashley there, bud?
Yeah, how's that going?
Has it been a month now?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking.
Did you start dating her before the podcast or after the podcast?
Before the podcast.
So over a month.
Yeah.
Aww.
Huh.
Anyways.
That's
Anyways, I am one of your hosts, David Kurzbergen, alongside my bromance, Sully Gardesi.
Sorry.
That was spawned from a conversation earlier today. Now I have to think of one of the funnier ones that I came up with for you guys, because I don't remember them.
I know, you said you had them too.
I did have a couple. I always, like, when I get put on the spot, though, I forget.
It looks like you guys aren't important enough other than me.
Oh, shut up, Sully.
It's time for the second ever episode 4.
Yeah. Next around the circle, she only exists as an attachment to Justin.
Hi.
Jen Hewitt.
I know, right?
That was one of them. I already told you guys that one, so that one's...
I can't be butthurt.
We're out
It's
of the
already
bank.
done.
Yeah, you can't be butthurt about it, too. And Jay Sleazy himself, Justin Blake Cunha.
They can't
He's
see
back.
the fist.
Yeah, silence is strong.
Silence is strong.
It's a thing.
Okay, fine.
Another thing... No, I'm sure that'll come about. For the time being, though, we'll just move on.
Absolutely.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it.
It's bananas. You'll find out.
Yeah, like,
What?
You'll figure it out. Alright, guys. Well, I have a large list of topics that I could dip into. I'll just pick one kind of at random. Does anybody have anything that they've, like, especially prepared for today?
I was actually thinking one at work, because I realized after seeing all the pictures on Facebook of the new setup, like, oh, dear God, today's podcast day. And so I started thinking of a topic, and I think I got one, most
Okay.
likely.
Let's
Yes.
start it off.
Go, Sully, go.
Oh, am I going first?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So my topic is, what power would you get, like superpower, and why?
It's a good question.
Okay, so, like, superpower. Okay, does it have to be like a defined superpower? That's what I'm trying to get to here.
It's literally in its name, like something that's above human capabilities.
So it has to be super. It can't just be like enhanced.
Well, it's above human capabilities, so
Okay.
it's,
So
even
super-
a superpower
so-
is also can be a normal thing, like how people have just regular strength. There's also super strength.
Yeah, I was just about to use that as an
Okay, so
example.
it's
too.
just a very broad.
Yeah, so you can, like,
Yeah.
super strength is an enhancement of your physical capabilities, but flight, which is normally not something humans are capable of doing, is also a superpower. So,
Yeah.
but you have to pick one, and that's the tricky thing. Because there are plenty of heroes out there in comics that have, like, tons of superpowers.
Yep.
But you have to pick one. And I know exactly which one I would pick.
I got mine, too, so...
battle to the death to figure out who gets to go first?
Well, I would win
For a
because
superpower?
my
Yeah.
power is time manipulation.
Yeah, you got that.
The most overpowered power of all time. See what I did there? Is time manipulation. Because you can do anything with time manipulation. Like, okay, maybe I can't learn to fly because that's not something I can physically do, but anything that I'm physically capable of doing, I can do, and I have an infinite amount of time to do it in.
So you just want to be a Time Lord.
Yeah. And you can also, because you can manipulate time, you don't age, or you age faster, or you can degress in age.
But would you have morals? Or
Well-
would you just go for it?
Well, I would obviously do tests and find out at what point was it becoming ridiculous, and then, like, scale back. But I would try everything first.
I'm saying David Tennant when he lost all his morals. That's what you gotta do.
I don't know that reference, but that's a Doctor Who reference, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Plus 50 followers to the podcast.
A
A Whovian? Oh boy!
God, if that's our audience, I will shoot myself.
David, be nice to the audience.
I love the audience.
Hoovians aren't real people.
Yeah,
They're
Hoovians.
trash.
They are so real people. You guys suck.
No,
But no.
Whovians aren't real people.
Who?
I stand up for you guys.
That's because you're not a real person.
There's a
Mm.
Doctor Who pony. Dr. Hooves.
Oh, of course
Oh,
there
yeah.
is.
A Whovian is not a real person.
Of course not.
Regardless,
Whovian.
superpower
It's a
time.
Time manipulation is the best one. You can go back in time and fix your mistakes. You can go for it. Now, here's the thing about time. Time is relative, so it's very hard to concretely say everything that I'd be able to do with such a broad power as time manipulation, because if I'm able to manipulate time as a resource, okay, am I able to, for example, merge timelines if multiple timelines exist? Am I capable of, like, having timelines split and then reconvene at certain points? I think that would be very useful.
Also, what happens if you make a paradox?
Exactly. What happens if I make a paradox? There are numerous time paradoxes that are easy to comprehend. So it's very, like, broad, but also I just think that, like, time manipulation is the most broken superpower ever, because I can look into the future and say at some point in the future humans do learn how to fly. Boom, I had gained flight before anyone else. I can pause time and work out constantly and, like, eat mass gaining and become super buff in, like, a second and a half. I can, like, do anything with time manipulation. The only thing you can't do with time manipulation is, like, things that affect other people's, like, free will. But you can kind of do that because you can go back in time and, like, change things to make different outcomes happen until you get one that is perfect. So, like, I just think that's a completely ridiculous power and it would be broken. So that's the one I would want. And also, I don't think I would ever lose interest in that power. I think, like, if you gain the ability to fly, for example, cool, you can fly, that's awesome for a while, until you, like, get bored of flying, and it just becomes a normal part of your daily routine. But, like, time manipulation, that is a never-ending array of experimentation and, like, learning new things about the power. Because if you just got it, if I just, like, woke up tomorrow and I could manipulate time, I would not know where to start. And there would be no end.
I'd
So.
sleep in.
You need to play Life is Strange.
I need to play Life is Strange.
You'd like it just for that reason too.
Okay. I will play Life is
Because you
Strange.
can manipulate time, and you can go back and remake decisions, or you can go forward. It's pretty freaking
And
awesome.
she has no idea what the fuck to do. She's just like, and that's exactly what you're
Yeah.
saying.
There's also a game that recently came out called 12 Minutes. Have you ever heard of that game?
Nope.
It's a top-down adventure game, and it takes place over 12 minutes. And at first, you just boot up the game, and it seems very normal. You're just a guy who comes home from work, and you walk into your apartment and your wife is there and she's cooking dinner and you just like have a conversation with her and then like you sit down, you have dinner, blah blah blah, like this all happens over the course of 12 minutes. And then at the end of that 12 minutes, a cop comes in, or like a cop knocks on your door, you go answer the door, and a cop comes in. And you're like, what can I do for you, officer? And then he like tells you to get on the ground and put your hands behind your back and all that stuff. And then he does that. And after those and that's when the game, like the officer like knocks you out. And then you wake up at the beginning of the 12 minutes again. And the game gives you different decisions to make. And depending on what decisions you make, you get different outcomes. And eventually, after enough times going through this 12 minutes, you get the idea of what's going on, that like the cop isn't actually a cop and that he's like part of this crime syndicate and that you are somehow involved in this crime syndicate, but like you don't know how, and like you're finding out more about the main character as you play because more things become relevant and stuff. It's really cool.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know. That's just, like, the basic premise. Like, you could go on Wikipedia and read that in the, like, first summary description.
All right.
There's, like, way more to it than that. So, anyway, that's another, like, time manipulation type game. But those are really cool. Yeah. That's my answer.
So, I want to go on this. I have 2 answers to it.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
well, so, I mean, the
Wow.
first one is one that everyone would expect. I mean, like, I would obviously choose, like, enhanced battery cells, which, if you guys don't know, it's actually Superman's power. His superpower is, like, infinite storing energy cells, which act like nuclear plants, like, but each one of his cells is like that.
Is that how they explain him?
Yeah, no, that is actually legitimately his power.
Okay.
Which explains as far as all of his other abilities. Like,
No, I got you.
yeah. And the way they explain how he has flight is not because he has, like, flight, because people can't fly, of course. But, so he...
That would be ridiculous.
Well, it's like the way it is, like, a person's, like, energy, like, their... all that kind of stuff, like, people have their own magnetic energy. It's like that, except like super powered and all that kind of shit, to where it bends around him, so it propels him off the ground and it pushes him to whatever direction he wants, and that's how he flies. And then heat vision, of course, is just like his eyes are basically like magnifying glasses and like projects his heat from his body and like stuff like that. And that's what I would go. And like then I'd of course like finally be fucking Superman. That shit would be awesome. My other one, if I'm not allowed to be Sully and like I can't go with the obvious, I'd go with Sylar's ability, because I'm also like myself, I'm super power hungry.
Oh.
And so like if I had to pick a power, I'd obviously go with one where I can take other people's powers, because I just would not be okay with just having one.
Sylar's power is actually really cool because...
Yeah. It's his understandability. Like,
yeah, exactly.
He understands
it's not that
things.
he takes other people's powers, it's that he like looks at their brain and he finds out exactly how they work, and then he does the same thing.
Yeah, like that's his power, is to be able to understand everything. And
which is kind of weird though, because like it's not like all the powers just come from like, oh, I know how it works on my body.
Well, no, that's exactly where they come from.
Yeah.
Because
it's genetics, though.
It is genetics. You have in Heroes, there's one gene that all of the powered people share, and the power that they have is a reflection of their personality and their like emotions and their thoughts and their feelings. So Sylar looks at their brain,
because he has the same gene as everybody.
Sees how they like think and how their brain looks. And he, like, has the ability to manipulate his own brain to do the same exact thing.
I either didn't get far enough to see that, because I got like 4 seasons in or something.
Save the cheerleader, save
like,
the world.
It explains it in season 2, I think.
But I was going to say, I either didn't see that season, I like missed it, or I just missed that part of the explanation entirely.
It was like one episode.
And it was like kind of subtle. They didn't like explicitly say what I just told you. They just kind of made that apparent.
Mm-hmm.
And Mohinder does a lot of research into the genes later on in like season 3.
Yeah, I know that he does a lot of gene
And
research. I just didn't
he
realize
finds
they
out
were
that
all
it's
the same.
one gene that every one of them shares, and that's how he can like locate people, and that's how his dad located people too.
Oh, okay.
I liked the Asian guy, the one who got all excited because he
Hero?
changed time
Yatta!
back a second.
Hiro Nakamura.
Yeah,
That was
he's
so
cool.
cute.
That's a cool power though. Cyber's
yeah.
power is one of the more interesting powers that anyone's ever come up
And
with.
that's what my power would be, because like, I mean, I'm just naturally super power hungry, and I like that kind of shit.
Yeah, maybe you could learn to love people.
That's you know, not something that's in my gene to be able to do.
It'll be like the Grinch Stole Christmas. We'll give you a heart.
It'll grow 4 times too big and then it'll die. Because that's a condition.
Yeah.
The Grinch had a condition. Well,
Okay. Well, I'd either do flying, so that way when the zombie apocalypse happens, I can be above all that shit, and that'd be awesome because you guys would be stuck.
What about
But-
climate though?
Doesn't matter.
Yes,
if it was
does.
airborne.
Put on a friggin' jacket.
No, the air would get too thin, and then you'd suffocate.
Well, I mean, if you could fly, then there's obviously a good chance that your body's adapted so you can handle that shit.
Not
No,
even.
you would have to actually force yourself to adapt. Like, there's people who live in the mountains that
Well,
have
there you go.
a
I'm
better.
pretty sure if you could fly, you would spend enough time in the air
That's
that
true.
you'd get used to it.
It wouldn't take very long, but it like the first year would just suck.
Well, it's not like I would rather have it before the zombie apocalypse, so I like know all the like air currents and like I got this shit, so that way I could just be like beast mode
Yeah.
here.
One thing that a lot of people don't realize about flight, I guess if you stayed low enough to the ground, you'd be okay. But like air traffic control,
Well, if
you'd
there's a
have to
zombie
know
apocalypse,
what.
David,
What?
if there's a zombie apocalypse, David, do you seriously think anyone?
You
could
said
do
you wanted it
airplane?
before, so you
Yeah,
could
you're
learn
gonna
how to
train
fly.
it before.
Okay, yeah, good point.
There would be like significant. You'd have to be like, I think, in cahoots, or at least you'd have to let air traffic control know, like, okay, I want to be flying in this zone at this time of day. Is that okay?
No, because then they're gonna want to do tests on me. I think I'll just do it over North Korea and freak out the world.
There you
I'll
go.
like be the reason why the apocalypse happens. But like other than that, I would probably want immortality if that counts as a superpower.
It does.
Because that would just like a lot like your reason, David. But I don't want to go back in time. I'd rather just go forward, so that way I can't like fuck up anything in the past. That decision will never rest on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like whatever happens from here on out, we're good.
So I'll be able to crack your skull open and take that power from you.
The
Well,
thing with
have fun with
the
that.
thing with time manipulation is like if I go back in time and I fuck something up,
You can go
this
back to your
point in time still exists,
Yeah.
and I can just come back here and move forward.
But it's just I never want that to like wham. I never want the like moment of oh shit, I totally fucked up the world.
That's
I'd rather
true.
just like keep fucking.
Even
up
if it
as
was
I
like
go.
really subtle, you like did something that you didn't see, like you came back to this point and you're like, everything's great.
Yeah.
And then like 10 years down the road you're like, oh shit, why are you dead?
It's like
But
the
you don't
butterfly.
know what caused it.
It's like the butterfly effect. You
Because
know?
like you went
No, yeah,
did
the butterfly
so many
effect is a real
different
thing.
things that you're just
Yeah.
like
That's the thing. You'd have to get a real like you'd have to steel yourself as soon as you got that power. You'd have to be like, okay, it's impossible for me to not fuck things up. I am going to be a catalyst for destruction. I have accepted that. I'm just going to move forward knowing that there is a chance that something I do is going to create like chaos.
See, I don't want to constantly watch myself and be like, oh shit, me knocking over this like fucking cup here is gonna like destroy half the northern hemisphere in like 10 years.
That doesn't make any sense.
It could.
There's
does.
no there has to be cause and effect.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I
see,
could, like-
Chris comes downstairs, breaks his shoulder because he trips on it. Then, like, somebody in the hospital is taking care of Chris when they could have been taking care of somebody important.
Who could have been
No
like
offense,
the person who
Chris.
saved like who could have been like someone who ends up saving like this horrible destructive thing that happens. I'd rather have it so that I just live through that destructive
the
thing and be
butterfly
like, yeah,
effect.
fuck
Okay.
you.
Any small
But-
thing can affect.
Yes, but if you had not knocked down that cup, Chris had not gone to the hospital, and that person then had helped the person that was saving the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, so the Northern Hemisphere is saved. Then, 2 years later, we find out that that person who saved the Northern Hemisphere was actually setting up for the Russians to explode us all with nuclear missiles.
That's cool. Then you can kill him later. It's all good.
See, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, the butterfly effect, I get it. It makes sense. But you cannot feel guilty about a butterfly effect. Because, like, me doing this could change the course of history.
There's
but,
probably a kid who died because of you.
Yeah, but who the fuck am I to, like, make that judgment call?
I mean, he just
You're
broke his
Mr.
phone.
Time, the
Yeah.
hero.
You're like...
I can't
you're a freaking
fucking...
Time
I
Lord,
am
Demon.
one person. And yes, I can manipulate time. So effectively, I am omnipotent. But I can't save and fix everything.
You can't be expected to.
Yeah,
The
and I can't
doctor
be.
does it,
It's
he
not
gets
my
along just
responsibility.
fine.
I am not. I do not have the Spider-Man mentality. With great power comes great responsibility. Is bullshit. With great power comes like.
Cool shit happens.
Well, with great power, you obviously have a responsibility to not abuse that power.
Not really. It's your freaking power. You're the one who has it. Like,
Well, no, like, I mean, like, in terms of other people. Like, I am happy to, you know, abuse my power, my time power to make myself into effectively a god, right?
mhm.
But I would not use that to intentionally manipulate other people.
Okay.
Because that,
God, if you don't tell me what the winning lottery ticket is, so help me God.
because, like, it just, like, yes, I have a responsibility to, like, not hurt anyone.
Well,
But
wait.
that's because of, like, my humanity would be at stake. And I want to remain human, you know?
So, like, with your power, you can get the lottery ticket your fucking self. Because
Yeah.
you could just get it from David.
Yeah, but that means I have to crack his skull open.
Yeah, good point. Good
But
point.
I'm a Time Lord. So I could, like, just go to a different timeline as you're cracking my skull open. I could be like, oh, you're about to kill me?
I'm pretty sure if I crack your skull open, you'll be pass out.
I'd be like, oh, you're about to kill me? Okay.
He'll see you coming, and then he'll be like, oh, it's the leg. I gotta get the fuck out.
No, see, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna bring him a cup full of fucking.
Stop trying to murder your fucking roommate.
Did we talk
Again.
about this last time?
Again.
No. I'd bring him like a nice fucking amazing cup of this good old. Fuck, what is the drink that you like?
Bourbon?
Bourbon.
Oh my god.
Like a good old glass of bourbon, and I'll have myself a drink too. But little does you know, I spiked his drink.
But why would he even bother accepting it from you when he can literally...
It's bourbon, and
he
it's
can go
me.
get his own from anywhere.
No, because I would accept it. Sully's my friend.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
And
You're
we would have a
weak.
drink,
You're weak, David.
and he would pass out.
Here's the thing. You would have to know ahead of time that I have the time manipulation power.
Exactly, which I don't until you tell me, because you're gonna tell me.
What if he already has it now and we just haven't figured it out?
Oh my god.
Wait, so does that mean we all have these powers right now? Fuck, I should crack people's skulls open.
You know, my case, if I am immortal, you really can't kill me by cracking my skull open.
So,
All you
like,
can do is
Doesn't
just
matter.
be
I'm
immortal
taking your
yourself.
ability.
Sully, you can
But I
crack
won't be
our
stuck with you
skulls
forever.
open and learn our powers when you crack open a book and learn English.
Asshole.
Whoa!
Brr.
Hold on, what the fuck does English have to do with taking skulls, though?
That's the Siler power. Is he can like look at something, interpret it, and completely understand
Yeah,
it.
all
can
you would have to
interpret it
do
in
is
parsing.
like open a dictionary and go,
And
and you would know English.
Yeah, but I got more important things.
All
Like taking over the world.
God damn it.
right, Justin, what about you?
I'm actually probably the most boring of everyone here, I guess. Because the one power that I've always wanted was just invisibility. It's not super useful for much of anything. I don't
Set the
want
girls'
to
locker room.
It's like the reasoning behind it is I want to be able to like experience human nature completely candid. And
I appreciate that.
This is like a completely non like oh, I want it to have fun. It's like I want to just be able to like, because when people are alone
They masturbate.
and they don't know that they're being watched and they think that like everything's fine, you're a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a lot more open. Or like if you're talking to someone on a personal level, like there's just so much more to human nature, and like that's something that I would really like to be able to take advantage of. And you don't have to like have mind reading powers, which is terrible. Bless you.
Sorry.
So like I don't know, because like time reading powers, like or mind reading powers, it's just that's too much.
Yeah.
But like, just to be able to like go invisible, just kind of hang out, and if you don't want to be found, you can just ignore people.
Sorry.
Will you fucking stop?
Yeah, you're interrupting his
I
story.
can't help it.
Could have done this during either of theirs, but no. Fucking mine.
See, I can guarantee you that me alone is no different from me in front of other people.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's certain people that I'd be a lot more interested in.
Hiss.
The fuck are you doing, David?
I'm standing over here because during the next topic, I want to talk from a different part of the room to see what the levels sound like.
Okay. Well,
This is a very awkward position.
You can like lay down
and
now.
you're
I'm not
asking
sitting there
what
anymore.
David's doing by standing up. You're upside down. Yeah, no, that's me though.
You have like the best reason ever for wanting invisibility, though. Most people are like, I want invisibility because like I hate
Girls'
people,
locker room.
or like I want invisibility because I want to spy on people. I want to know what people are
Like
thinking.
play pranks.
Yeah, like no, you want invisibility because you just like have a deep love for humanity.
Well,
That's really interesting.
like psychology is a huge thing for me,
yeah.
and I really adore it. I just have no motivation to spend 8 years in college for it.
Yeah, yeah,
because
I
that's
getcha.
garbage.
yeah.
God, I'm such a typical person. Because I would so play pranks on people. Like, girls' locker room and play pranks on them.
He better not say girls' locker room.
I just did.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Justin.
Yeah. And, oh my god, I'd be a haunted bra. Like, I'd go to, like, the locker room, just, like, grab one of their bras and just, like, float around, like, woo!
Oh my god.
I'm a spooky bra. Oh my god, that'd be so fun.
Everyone would be like, Sully? I'd be like, no. But yeah, that's it for me.
That's good. Good topic.
That's topic number 1 out of the way.
I'd be sad if I have to kill you.
You can't.
I hope there's another person.
I
that's
can just go
essentially-
invisible.
Yeah, but
They're like, it's Sully. Just
You
just walk away.
Sounds
like
like
that
David, he won't be
fucking guy.
nice.
All I have to do is just carry like a bag of flour with me, so when you go invisible, just chuck it everywhere.
Well, if it's invisible, then doesn't that mean he'd be invisible to the flower too?
What?
No.
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 Invisibility.
I'm talking like invisibility that like allows you to still wear clothes and not be that
Oh, okay.
creepy naked person.
No, but just
So like
Well,
anything that's you're
even
like
your
connected-
body,
even in that
your body's
case-
still physical though.
Yeah, well, if flour was flying through the air and when it hit you, it became invisible, you would still see the point where it became invisible.
Yeah, and then I could just juke to the left.
That's true.
Be like,
Okay.
I'm
It's just a
over
juke
there.
to the left.
Well, I mean, essentially, that's why you get the cloud. effect.
Oh,
That
back
makes-
to time.
Let's do the Tower of Death. I don't even know how that song goes.
David would sing about it because he wants to be a time.
Ah, it all comes back around.
Gay.
Kind of.
A little bit.
What's the next topic?
I don't know.
I already have a shit to say.
Okay, I have my topic.
I was gonna say, I know David's got one.
So I was thinking about this in the shower the other day.
Ooh, was it about me?
I like
Kind of.
how that suddenly became like a, oh, you were in the shower. That's so
No, our
sexy.
showers are not sexy at all. In
No.
fact, our showers suck ass.
I bet you shower naked, you
It will
slut.
be like decent to bad pressure for a while, and then it will just drip,
Yep.
and then it will become decent to bad again, and then just drip.
Have you noticed it's been like so bad? Like
It's
so
been
much
worse lately.
Okay, thank you. Because I haven't had like a good actual
It's-
shower in like a month now.
Yeah, most of the time it's like half and half during the shower. Like half the time is decent, half the time is just like it's just dripping out.
I don't even get the half anymore. Like I've literally only been getting dripping, and it's like, okay, I guess I'll take a shower with the faucet.
Yeah.
I literally
We
like.
need to.
I'll
I'm gonna
sit-
go over there tomorrow.
I'll sit underneath and just like use the faucet and just like scoop the water, like toss it over my body when I'm not showering with him.
I'm gonna go over to the fucking neighbors tomorrow and have a chat with them. Anyway, conversational podcast. the whole point is that people now know more about our lives, right? That's the whole point.
That's part of why I like it so much.
So
it's psychology.
Imagine.
Ooh, full circle.
Imagine a
Wait,
circle.
wait.
Whoa, this is getting crazy.
Just say this. Friends and family, you now know our shower problems. Let us shower in your showers.
Yes.
Oh, please.
But
for the time being, let's
for the
move
time
on.
being, let's move on. So my topic actually begins with a circle. So imagine that. Imagine a circle. Now imagine that everyone in the world is at a different point on the circle, and there are an infinite number of points on the circle. Okay.
There
Wow.
is a circle. So
It's
there's-
called the Earth.
Okay. That's a sphere. A circle. Now, wrecked. Now imagine that your point on the circle is a reflection of your personality in reference to other people on the circle. So, for example, I'm at the bottommost point on the circle for me. Jen is like about a third of the way around on the other side because we have some things in common, but not very many things in common. So you're almost all the way around the entire circle.
I would say I'd be like around the entire circle.
So you're almost all the way around the circle, and you're like about maybe a little over a third all the way around.
Yeah.
Justin is very close to me on the circle. He's like maybe an eighth away in terms of circumference. Sully is a little bit farther than Justin. So like everyone on the circle is positioned as a reference to how much they have in common with you morally and in terms of your personality and what you like and dislike. So someone who is almost exactly like you would be right next to you on the circle, and someone who is the opposite of you would be on the opposite side of the circle.
Okay.
Make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a theory. Relationships. Your best relationship in the entire world, like the one for you. Well, here's part of it. There's not one person for you. There's actually two people in the world for everyone. And here's why. It's a circle.
Uh-huh.
The person on the opposite side of the circle from you is obviously the worst possible match for you, right?
Yeah.
But the misconception normally is that the person who has the most in common with you is the best relationship, which is
No.
not true.
That shit's boring.
Exactly. The person or the two people that you have the best relationship chance with and like that you should be with are a quarter circle away from you on either side. So halfway between the opposite and yourself on either side, a quarter circle away from you, is your perfect partner. That person has enough in common with you to like get along with you and enjoy some of the things you like, but they also have enough not in common with you to challenge you and force you to learn and accept things that you wouldn't normally accept and like have intelligent conversations about things. So that point, quarter circle away from you, is your best relationship. And the closer you are to that point, the better the relationship is. So as you get farther and farther and farther away from that point on the quarter circle away from you, towards the top or the bottom to yourself, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
So we're definitely not talking about looks here.
No. The person that is right next to me, like Justin, for example, is very close. Like, we have things we disagree on, obviously, but personality-wise and, like, things that we like, we
I
like
don't
a
agree
lot.
with that.
You don't agree with that?
I got
I
it.
think I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I?
You
It's
said that
it's
we,
funny because
we don't
you don't.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we got it.
I was just saying.
We got it.
Justin and I
connected.
don't agree on a lot of things.
Agreed.
Agreed. But we have a lot in common. We like a lot of the same things, and like our preferences are very similar. But we're obviously not the same person. So I would say again, he's about an eighth of the circle away from me. That I don't think would be a good relationship for me because it's too similar to me. We would butt heads. So we already butt heads a lot. Like we just wouldn't work. I
Are
don't
you
think.
bi?
No,
Is this your coming out?
this is not my
speech?
coming out.
Damn it.
Sully.
That's later.
Sully, for example, also probably wouldn't work. He's just not close enough to that quarter circle point. I love Sully, and like we have a lot in common, and we got to talk about a lot of stuff. But he's also just a little bit too different for me. It's just not.
It wouldn't be perfect, but it wouldn't be like horror.
Yeah, yeah. So like my best relationships have been right around that quarter circle mark. I'm gonna say names, but whatever. Tracy, for example, was a really good relationship. She'd probably agree with me. Like, she's probably right around that quarter circle mark. Not right there, but very, very close. We had a lot in common. We liked a lot of the same things, but she also was a different person than me, had a lot of different personality traits, and she challenged me, and she like forced me to learn and forced me to like be motivated and stuff like that. Sammy's kind of the same way on the opposite side of the circle, because she had a lot in common with me too, but there were certain things about her that she recognized needed to change, and I was helping her with those things. So like there were instances where I was helping her learn, and she was helping me learn too. So this is my theory about relationships, is this circle idea. And it's not obviously just reflective of relationships. I think like friendships too can also be placed on the same circle, but the scale's a little bit different. So your best friendships are probably all on the underside of that quarter circle mark, closer to you, because your friends, generally speaking, have more in common with you than not. And the people on the top side, or the top half of the circle, probably aren't as good of friends with you because they have less in common. So this is my theory about relationships and like stuff. I just came up with this like diagram in my head, and that's my topic.
It makes sense. Sort of.
I know there's probably not anywhere to really go with that, but I thought I should like let the people know that that's how I like view people on a circle.
That's cool. I mean, like, the first thing I thought of was like, well, I mean, yes, I agree with it to like a certain extent, but I think it's incredibly dependent on self-worth. Because if you don't like yourself, that scale is super askew. Or if you are solely and you just fucking love yourself, you want more of yourself.
Yeah.
So
You know,
like
that's true,
that's
yeah.
going to be entirely dependent on self-worth, I think.
That makes sense.
And I think you're like right. I think it's perfect for you to say left and right are where you want to be, because you love a certain amount of yourself and you don't like a certain amount of yourself. And I think for you that is a perfect scale. I think the idea is right. It's just where you measure on it is different.
Yeah, I get that too. That makes sense. It's like someone who
Solely.
doesn't like themselves. Someone who doesn't necessarily like themselves very much would probably want someone farther away on the circle, and someone who does like themselves a lot would probably want someone that's more like them.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't agree with
I don't think I can find anybody like me. I'm
You can't.
perfect.
You're an individual. You are very unique.
I am very perfect, and there's nothing that can be like me. I wonder if I
That's-
can clone myself.
I was just to say, we need to clone you.
Is that even possible?
Would you be gay for yourself?
Of course I would.
Yes, we're cloning Sully.
I had a moment the other day where I was watching a video of myself, and I was like, damn. Do you ever get that? Has anyone ever had that moment?
Yes. All the
Sully
time.
does. That doesn't happen very often. It was like one time, and I was like, wait, what the fuck did I just say? Like, that's really weird, isn't it? That's
It's
weird.
not weird. I think
It's-
some people can actually appreciate themselves, but like for me, I just don't. I like avoid mirrors and or listening and or watching anything that I do. So I don't have the moment, but I know other people do, because it's like it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's just a part about being human. You have to like. Sometimes it's good to appreciate who you are, like what you do, and be
Yeah.
like, damn, I'm sexy.
I don't think I would put myself out there as much as I do, like on the internet, if I wasn't as confident in
Yeah.
myself as I am.
I disagree with your diagram, because there's also like you can meet someone on that other point of the circle that's perfect for you, but what if you just don't have chemistry with them? And like there's like I'm talking about like physical chemistry, and that may sound super shallow, but and like I'm not saying that like physicalness is everything in a relationship, but it's a really good plus, especially if you're planning on being with this person for an extended amount of time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You
Whoa.
don't want it to be
I like to
shitty.
point out that I'm in a very non-physical relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
Like, you make it
And
work.
man, is she angry. Farzana, I apologize. Please do not listen to the rest of this podcast.
But like, you know, like
Go
there's-
back and forget what you heard.
There's been like some people who like obviously there's a good connection there, and it's like yes, we may have our super differences, but to keep this up, I will make it work. But then there's other people who are like, it's okay that you walked away. That's good, because it did not work out, and that's a good thing. So-
To be fair, you should be attracted to somebody that you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get what you're
as
saying.
A relationship.
And I
and I'm not just talking about physical attract, like their face or their body. I'm also talking about other stuff too. But For PG rating, I'm not saying it.
No,
we're uncensored.
I get what you're
that
saying.
shit is fucking bananas.
I've had moments in my life though where, and I don't know if you're the same, but this is probably completely different from the way most people think. But if I like someone enough, it like totally balances with how physically attracted I am to them.
Yeah, no, like that's true, but there's also like, how long are you willing to go like that? Because there's also, you will see other people in your life.
That's not what it is though.
No, I know what he's talking about. Like, I have found people who I wouldn't normally find attractive more attractive because of who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that completely, like, it gives it a buffer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I saw that person on the street,
yeah,
I would not give them a passing glance, but because I know who they are and I've spent a lot of time with them, they actually are more physically attractive to me.
Yeah.
It's almost like my brain has two different, or not just two, but like as I get to know someone, I see them differently. Like almost literally, I see them differently.
Okay, but like, have you ever? Okay, I guess I'm kind of putting this horribly. Have you ever like had someone that there's just been like an insane connection with? Like, everything about them, you just want to spend like 24 hours with them. It's not like you're in love. It's just like you physically feel at your like utmost good. Like, you are the healthiest around this person. You always want to be around them. Everything you do is just like, it's like genetically you guys are just made.
Yes.
So like, yeah. So I feel like stuff like that wouldn't necessarily fit on that circle chart because like it's not based off of what they like, what you don't like stuff like that. It's not based on your interest or your personality. That's literally based off of genetics.
I feel like that's you and Michael Thomas.
That is me and Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Like,
that right there.
Like, I love Michael Thomas more than like anyone.
Shout out.
Like, seriously, I literally like. Yeah, I don't even know how to like accurately describe my love for him.
It's just the fact that we all even knew about it too.
Yeah.
Like,
but like, I get what you're saying. Like, there is just some deeper connection between me and Michael than is explainable.
Exactly, and like I feel like that wouldn't fit on your chart because there's no way to really measure that.
That's true.
Like,
I get what
you
you're
would
saying.
literally have to go up to and like essentially, yeah, you kind of have to do that anyways for your chart. But this would be like even longer because you would have to be like, okay, we're gonna put these two people together, and we're gonna put these two people together. You know.
So remember that whole thing that I said that is the case? It's called the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you about how we just went full circle, baby.
Full circle.
Because you got the circle with the interests circle you're talking about. Then you take it.
Oh
and
my God! You just
put
blew my mind.
You put another
it just
axis
clicked.
on it.
It just
Oh my
clicked.
God.
And that's physical.
Oh my God! It just
Put
clicked.
another axis on it. Verbal. Like, put another, and just you create
a
globe,
sphere. Wow.
which is the Earth.
Big, get out! Just get out!
No, that was mind blowing. That's perfect. I will end it there because that was the best. That was perfect.
It was too good to ruin.
It's too good. My circle just became a sphere because of Jessen. So
You're welcome.
I have a deeper understanding of humans now.
I kind of love how that like whole conversation actually ended up to like that.
Yeah, it just
Because it kind of like ended working its way there. Because like you said the point, and then we all added different things, so it was like bam.
exactly.
I feel like mine doesn't even complete even a circle. It's just like, you know,
Sully's got a bowl.
like it's not even really a bowl. It's like, you know, those little kind of like little dented shaped plates.
It's a saucer.
Yeah. it's very like, you know, just there. There's people on there. Other than that, if you're not within my realm, get the fuck out.
Oh, Sultan.
Speaking of saucers, like when I was a kid and people said UFOs and they were like, it's a flying saucer, I always thought of like a saucepan like flying through the air.
That's what it looks like, except upside down.
Really?
Like a flying saucer?
Like, if you just take a saucer, in fact, it's like two of them. You just take one and then put the other one on top of it so they're bowed out. The flat part's meeting in the middle.
That's what a flying saucer is. It's like two saucepans put opposite and on top of each other.
I'm gonna go make my own UFO.
Oh, man, speaking of the X-Files coming back.
Please,
Speaking
God.
of Game of Thrones coming
Game of
out
Thrones!
tonight.
Yeah. That's happening right after this.
Yep.
Do.
Wait, is that happening like on the big screen?
Yeah, we have HBO.
Do we fucking have HBO?
Yeah.
My
I
mom got
found
us
that out
free
today.
HBO for the duration of the Game of Thrones season.
she did it specifically for Game of Thrones.
Well, she got herself and Laura stars for Outlander, and HBO is included in the same package.
okay.
So it just like kind of came with it, and
That's
she was
hilarious.
like, "You can have this," and I was like, "Cool, thanks." So we have HBO, and we're gonna watch it after this
So
is done.
goddamn awesome.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
The cool thing is, well, I guess my computer doesn't really reach over there. We can figure it out.
We can put on a phone. Chromecast.
Do we have Chromecast?
Yeah. Do you guys not have it? I got
I
it.
don't. Nice. That's enough.
Yeah.
Good.
Making it work.
Do we have other topics?
My topic is
Time on
done.
Game Grabs.
What's the time? How long have we been talking?
I feel like forever.
About 45 minutes. We got time for one more.
Yeah, we can do another topic.
You got one, babe?
Hey,
Come up with one on the fly. I have a little quip. I was talking to Jeff. I was texting him earlier.
fantastic.
Jeff is coming onto the show, by the way, so you guys can look forward to that.
Oh,
I think
that is a look forward and far beyond.
that's going to be a good
Meeting
episode.
new people, yay.
Oh, you're gonna hate him.
Yay.
You're gonna hate him.
Yeah, Jeff is gonna be.
Wait, is he listening to this?
Yeah,
Oh,
he listens to all of them.
Yeah. By the way, hi Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Shout outs to Jeff.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna hate you.
Jen's gonna hate you. He was texting me today. He was like, "So tell me all the topics that you guys are gonna talk about on that day, so I can like come up with stuff." And I was like, "Jeff, you don't really understand this, do you? Like, that's not how it works.
We
That's the
don't have
beauty
a
of it.
notebook."
We don't know our topics ahead of time for the most part.
Yeah.
We just come up with stuff and we talk about it. So anyway,
We don't sit there and go, this week we're going to talk about bananas. It's like, just
Bananas.
Shut up.
For the time being. You know what? There we go. We can talk about that. Little
that's a good
instances.
topic. It's a
Yeah.
good topic.
Just like nuances that you pick up from other people and like how they affect your daily life. It's not like a how do you feel about this or anything. It's just like kind of things that you notice.
Yeah.
Because like it definitely affects us here at the house.
Oh, it's a plague.
I picked up, to be fair, from Kevin Tackleberry.
Yeah.
That every single time, like, I will say it all the time now, and I got it from Kevin.
We got all
I
kinds
hate
of
it.
stuff for like that happens constantly.
What?
And where we like pick up phrases from each other. Like
Oh my
we'll
fucking God. Okay, so when it comes down to picking up phrases, so like when Blaze was here, the Jailbait crew was here, and when Kevin was here, that shit was the goddamn worst.
Mhm.
Like they would say, like Blaze would say every once in a while, it wasn't like that really annoying, but fucking Kevin will pick it up and use it like fucking like
and burn it to the ground.
It was so annoying. Like
One-
at
yeah.
LARP, he for some reason he picked up for all intents and purposes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
That's probably the worst
Yeah.
one to pick up.
And so like I have no idea how we found this. And so now every single time when I'm like talking with him or like when he's explaining something, he'll say all intents and purposes. And I would just like sit there and just start counting how much you'd use it. Within a time span of like 2 or 3 minutes, you used it like 9 or 10 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Much love, Kevin. Shout out is real.
I was
Kevin,
gonna say, love you, Kevin.
I will cut you.
Oh, God.
I'm sure he'll be on the show at some point. No, Kevin did like I remember that too when he was here. I remember at one point he got Estelle to the point where she was like going to kill him because he
Yes.
would say Worth like every single
Oh,
sentence.
Worth was a bad
Yeah,
one.
he would say Worth every single sentence, and Estelle like literally wanted to kill him.
Yeah, not only because like it was just him repeating it over and over. It's because Estelle is an English major.
Yeah, as an
Yeah.
English major, she could not physically bear
Yeah.
hearing Worth without the it.
No, I think this is interesting though because for years I have been picking stuff up from Justin. Years. Like every time Justin comes up with something, I pick it up and then like I use it for a month and then it's gone. And we never talk about it
Yeah.
until like something
And we don't
like this
even
comes
like
up.
think about
No,
them.
we don't even think about it.
Like we can't even come up with 98% of them.
No, that's the thing is like if you go back and like, oh, what are some of the phrases that you picked up from? I don't fucking know. I don't remember them.
But as of right now, I mean, we've got bananas.
Yeah, bananas.
This become popular.
I kind of like
for the time being.
Yeah, I took bananas and I kind of put a spin on it. I think I was telling you about this earlier. I've been saying bonkers a lot.
I heard you say bonkers actually.
Yeah.
Twice now today without mentioning it.
Let me tell you about this story on swag and YOLO.
Oh.
So when
What
that
about
shit
YOLO swag
first-
though?
Well, like when that shit first started like becoming popular and all that kind of stuff, and it just started everywhere, I hated it. Like, oh my god, did I hate that shit so much? I wanted to stab everybody for it. And like later on, I don't know, it was like a month or 2 months into it. God, I loved it. I started using it all the time.
See, and that's the worst thing too, because like I'm kind of the same way in the sense that some of the things I've picked up are entirely like they're meant to be ironic, but I say them so much ironically that they stick.
Right?
Like I hashtag things out loud constantly.
Yes.
Started as irony,
And now you actually do it. You'll actually hashtag stuff.
which is hilarious.
Like, okay, I had this picture on Facebook, and my dad posted it from years back when we went to Thailand. It was a family picture. And I like meant to be ironic. It was like hashtag family photo, and then it actually was like, oh, I actually used that as a crap.
I know what you're talking about, and there was an instance of that happening recently that I like significantly spent time thinking about, and I can't remember what it is now. There was this one thing like that you do or that you say, and like it's just a normal part of our conversations now, but it used to be ironic, and I can't think of what it is now. Because it's so ingrained.
There's a lot of things that we have that goes around here that's like that.
Yeah, like
that's the whole point of this topic is this is like a thing.
Yeah.
A thing.
A thing. There
This
you go.
is a thing.
There you go. That's one of them. A thing. That's like one of those. It's one of those
It's a thing.
things that like you just started saying, or like somebody. I don't even know it was you. Someone started saying. It just became a part of our vocabulary, and now it's a thing.
Yep.
It's
So-
like I had this group of friends,
Wow,
and I
like-
convinced everyone to say butt. So now we all like, you're a butt, or that.
Yeah.
What?
No, that's
Yeah.
that's been a thing. Like with me and Josh and her and
Well, no, because I was friends with like Ben and Ashley, and like when I was dating the she witch who shall not be named. But like during that time, we all like,
You know who you are.
yeah, no, she blocked me on Facebook, so she goes suck it. But she liked that too much, so no.
just die.
Yes.
Just die.
But like,
Die.
we went, and like I used to be like, oh, you're a butt all the time, and then like Ben picked it up, and then Violet picked it up from Ben, and like next thing you know, everyone's like saying you're a butt, and like it's been ingrained into him too.
The most like
So-
uninsulting insult.
I have that too. So that mine, I say something that I don't think anyone else says. And it's one of the few things that I say that no one else says. I call people goons all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
new thing.
And that came up because at work we were obviously like encouraged to not swear for the most part, even if we weren't on the, like a call or on the clock. So rather than calling people like fucking retards or whatever, I would just call them a goon, because goon is like something that like isn't particularly offensive. Like
It's also the Goonies.
yeah, a goon is actually like the way that I had been saying it was in terms of like the hockey position.
Yeah.
Oh.
The hockey position, a goon in hockey is
It's
someone
like-
who doesn't actually play the game. They just go on the field to beat people up.
Yep. He's just beefy and in there to get into a hockey fight.
Yeah,
Canadian.
There was
show,
actually a
yeah.
movie about that with that one guy.
with Sean William Scott.
That him.
Good movie.
Was it
never
the
saw it.
Goonies?
No.
No.
My God, no.
Never mind.
The Goonies.
Oh, please.
But yeah, I've been calling people a goon because it's like it's like silly and cheeky and not offensive, and it's just like kind of a nicer way to call someone an idiot. Like that's pretty much what it is. Like that's something that I say that like no one else says. So I guess like my extension of the topic is what's something that you say that no one else says, because that's definitely mine.
Oh, that's not where
I was gonna say, like, as before that, it's like nailed it is something that we
Oh,
say here all
nailed
the
it.
time.
Nailed it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think I got that from Justin, and some people. Janky is another one.
Janky. That one came from Blaze, I think.
Yeah.
That was Blaze.
Because like I say some of these things at work. Okay, when I
Oh,
went
yeah, no.
when I came to my new
That's-
pod, the one I'm in now with Cam, and I sit next to Kendall and Sarah, who I'd like not talked to prior to me being in that pod. And I started just like talking to them, and these things would just come up. I would say like nailed it, or I would say janky, or I would say salty. Salty's another one.
Oh, yeah.
I used to call like
Salty
I used to
actually became the most popular word of 2014.
Yeah, I know salt,
which
yeah.
is unbelievable.
Yeah. So
Good
I
job, Internet.
started calling Kendall salty all the time, and she was like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I just realized that my vocabulary, because it's been developed in this shell and like not like no one understands what I'm saying. So I always call people a goon. They're like, "What?" Like janky. They're like, "What does janky mean?" Like
Wait,
salty.
okay.
Like what does salty mean?
Does anybody know what bi Felicia means?
What the fuck is bi Felicia?
Okay, so it's like a really popular thing, and I see it all the time on like the internet. And like, okay, I remember this because there was a list at like this one.
Bifellatio?
Yeah, but there's.
As in like autofellatio?
I don't know.
Like when you auto-fillate?
No, I don't know because.
But you're biflating, so you got like.
No,
it's
no,
not like when two chicks suck your one dick?
No. Okay, there was a list from like Chick-fil-A, I think, that like was list of stuff. That, like,
This got
workers
out of
can't-
control really fast.
Oh my gosh, it's like list of stuff that workers can't say, and one of them was salty, and then another one was bi Felicia, and it was like
Oh,
B-Y.
Felicia.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like how you automatically heard fellatio. you freaking goon.
Dude, are you kidding me?
But what does it mean? And like I see it
You
everywhere
have
now.
the internet.
Yeah, why the fuck don't you just look this shit up?
Fuck you guys, I'm looking it up. Go do your own thing.
What the fuck?
Shut up, Sully.
That was just a waste of like however much minutes that took.
I was hoping you guys knew it.
Speaking of one thing that we did kind of pick up,
Go back to your show.
this is actually something we were talking today when we were out at sushi. Sultan.
Oh yeah, Sultan.
That's a... She called you Sultan.
It was awful.
What?
Yeah. It's become so normal at this point
Yeah.
that even though she knew you in high school as Sully this whole time in her life, just like us, she's heard it as Sultan so much now that it's just like,
I do that.
Sultan.
I realized now that I'm thinking about it. Like,
Literally,
that's
it's
one of the-
only people that ever call me Sultan. You, Justin, Jordan.
That's it.
Kyle does sometimes.
Huh?
Kyle does sometimes now.
Yeah, because fucking Jordan
Because
does it.
of,
You
yeah, I was
do
gonna
it.
say because of us.
Yes, it's literally because you guys. And now an extension, Jen says it.
Yeah,
It's
I
awful.
when I reference you at work, like people are like, "Oh, who do you live with?" I'm like, "Oh, Justin and Sultan," and they're like, "Who is Sultan?" Like no one knows you by that name. So
Exactly.
like you, anyway, I was thinking about this like too. Like I never called you Sultan until like 8 months ago. Was when I started calling you Sultan.
Yeah.
And it was when you moved in, and I don't even know why. I just
I'm
started.
pretty sure you started calling me before that.
Was it before that?
Oh yeah, no, you've been calling me Sultan for a while now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
regardless, I did that. I did the same thing with Douglas. I
Douglas.
never used to call him Douglas.
Yep.
Until he lived here, and then I called him Douglas all the time. I don't call him Doug anymore.
We had nicknames galore for that kid, and we ended up calling him by his full name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he lived here.
Yeah. Like, I think stuff like Kat, for example. I used to call her Kat all the time. Now I say Catherine. I don't know why. I do that to everyone. I start calling them by their full name for some reason.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys, I got it.
Got what?
What Bi Felicia is?
Yeah, so it's what. Oh.
That's it?
Okay, it's when someone says that they're leaving and you could really give two shits less who they are, so their name becomes Felicia. So it's, an example was, hey guys, I'm gonna go. Bye, Felicia. Who's Felicia? Exactly, bitch. Bye-bye. So that's what it was.
So you don't want to say that
Yeah, it's like saying bye,
working
ho.
in a restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if their name is Felicia and you're like, bye, Felicia?
Well, I know a girl named Felicia, and she's still a stupid hoe, so it's okay.
I'm still down with bifellatio, though.
Of course you are.
You don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. Is there any words that I use that normal people don't?
Well, you use all kinds of words that normal people don't because
You
you,
use
come up
words-
with words all the time.
I was gonna say you use words that you come up with on the spot.
Yeah.
Your things are always non-English words that you come up with. So in that case, yeah, you do. Just not like anything in particular. You just always come up with really janky words.
But other people say that
Fair.
now.
I don't know.
It's been picked up vocabulary.
I don't know.
You're not unique anymore with that.
Okay, I'm pretty unique about stuff. Like the time when I thought Richard Simmons was a smart name.
Oh Jesus! Side fucking shout out here.
So I
God.
I was hoping about leaving a review on something, but I wanted to sound like a smart, superficial male. So it was like, oh, Richard Simmons! That's a smart, superficial male name.
She came up with the smart white male, Richard Simmons.
And I'm like so excited. Like I'm in the shower, and I like tell Justin, I was like, Richard Simmons, isn't that so smart? Like, don't you just sound like my name's Richard Simmons? And he's like, I need to show you something.
Needless to say, we went in our room after, and I showed her Sweating to the Oldies.
Yes. Awesome.
And like he showed me the one with Ellen, and even Ellen freaking DeGeneres was just sitting there like, I don't know how to handle this guy.
He's pretty unhandleable.
Yeah, no, she seriously just like kept constantly was like, come back over here, and like he would like scream and everything. She's just like,
Yeah.
you need to talk into the other ear now.
Richard Simmons is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I take it back. And then I did Sean Evans, and I guess that's like an actor. So I
I'm
got
sure it is.
nothing.
He's a British actor.
You come up with like any name that's like normal sounding, someone has that name.
I was really hoping for something that was just like super fancy, like white male, like name, and I had nothing.
Gotcha.
Richard Simmons. I died.
And on that note, thank you guys so much for listening to episode 4 of the Housecast. We've been going for a month now.
Woo!
Hopefully we will go for many more months. We definitely have a much better setup now. I'm going to take a listen to this afterward and make sure everything sounds good. It looks really good as far as I can see. So
I look really good.
yes, Sultan also looks really good. You can see like he's wearing like not a real V-neck, but like one of those fake V-necks.
Oh my god,
You
no.
can just see his chest hair.
Like, this shit is like the
It's
best
an
ever.
O-neck.
It's an
Yeah.
O-neck. So it's become really popular at my work. It's called the Sully shirt. And basically, like, if you're ever wanting to dress like Sully, you have to get a shirt, cut open the neck portion of it to where it shows your collarbone and your chest hair, and like the sleeve of it has to be just barely like there to where it's like not a cutoff, but it's also not a real sleeve. And so like Johnny and Kyle just like came up with this, and it was like the official Sully dress code.
The
Nice.
gayest thing I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
But goddamn, is this shirt fucking comfy?
I'm sure it is. Well,
Final words.
anybody got anything they'd like to say before I close this up?
No, we're good.
Alright. Well, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Oh,
You stole my thing! Fuck you!
Oh, he did it.
Yep, I did it.
Wait,
But
what?
seriously though, we would really appreciate it if you share this with your friends. We were talking about this while we were at Hagen recently. That like,
Shout out to John Malone,
John
if you
Malone,
can hear
you're
this.
listening,
John
we
Malone.
saw you. Yeah, we saw him at Hagen.
Oh.
That like if you guys just share this with your friends, like even if you don't want to continue listening to it, that's totally fine. We definitely understand. Just like make sure that you let other people know that we're doing this. We'd really appreciate it.
Don't forget to heart us on SoundCloud.
We'll get wrecked.
Make sure to like the house on Facebook.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
I'm sure you do somehow.
I'm going to link this to the house Facebook page this time. So if you find this on SoundCloud, it should. Well, no, that's not the case. If you find it on Facebook,
We'll add links and shit.
Yeah, we'll put links in there.
You're good. You're good.
We also need to come up with a title for this episode, but I'll do that in a second.
Yeah, it's for the time being. We'll just move on.
Okay. For the
We
time,
should just name it for the
let's do
time
it.
being.
That
Oh,
was the idea.
come on, you ruined it.
Come on. And
All right,
whoosh.
we're done. Thank you so much for listening, guys. We really appreciate it.
Nailed
we'll see you
it.
next week.
Bye.
Worth.